host, Jennifer Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're enjoying your summer. It's in full swing. There's all kinds of summer activities going on for the kids. Of course, nobody's thinking about school. Hard to believe that's only a couple of weeks away, but we're not talking about that because summer just started. We're all into it. There's all kinds of things happening for kids. Now, of course, keeping kids safe has always been one of my priorities. That's one of my passions. So anytime we can talk about something revolving kids and keeping safe, we're going to talk about that. Today, our first guest is from Operation Kids Safe. Now, Operation Kids Safe has protected over 1 million children. It's really cool. Parents get a document with 10 fingerprints and photos and all the important information, and you have that on you in case, heaven forbid, you ever need it. Operation Kids Safe is there to help you with that. Robin Binkley is going to be in the studio. She's going to tell us all about how you can become part of that, how you can get your kid safe information, get your child, of course, if you want them to come visit you at any sort of event. Robin's going to fill us all in about that. Then we're going to talk to Michael Marshall from Camp Verde Parks and Rec. Guess what? Cornfest is back. I know we missed it. It was gone last year, but they brought it back. It's so awesome. We're very excited. One of the most wonderful hometown festivals, of course, around that delicious Camp Verde sweet corn. So really excited. Michael's going to tell us all about the details on that this year. And then now, if you may or may not remember this, depending on how old you are, but July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. Yeah, remember that? Well, that would not have been possible if it weren't for Flagstaff. All the things that happened in Flagstaff that led up, all the training, the instrumentation work, everything happened in Flagstaff. Isn't that amazing? Well, they are hosting the 50th anniversary celebration. It's amazing. It's called the Lunar Legacy in Flagstaff. It's going to be incredible. Knock your socks off. Meg Roederer is going to be in the studio to tell us all about that. Then we're going to go on location, courtesy of our sponsors at Cat and Verde Links, and we're going to talk to Sedona Fire Engineer Cooper Carr about creek safety. Yep, it's that time of year. Monsoons are about to start. The creeks will flash flood. They will rise, and I know that a lot of us take our families down to the creeks during the day, and you want to be safe for that. You're going to want to know about creek safety, so Cooper's going to fill us all in on that. And then we'll have music from Dan Vega. It's been about 2 years since we've seen Dan. He's come a long way. He has a new released album. He's grown all this hair. You won't recognize him, and he's back on the show. We're so excited about that. So let's go ahead and get started. Robin, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Robin Binkley with us. Now, how did you get into Operation Kids Safe as far as Allstate Insurance? I mean, you have that safety in mind, I suppose.
Well, yes. We are Allstate Insurance and Financial Services, and as an agency, we choose a mission to give back to the community, and our mission is supporting neglected and abused children. Mm-hmm. So when we were approached by Operation Kids Safe to become a safety center, it was a natural fit.
I bet. That's amazing. Now, fill us all in. What is Operation Kids Safe?
Well, it really started about 18 years ago, and Mark Bott started Operation Kids Safe. He worked for 4 years with John Walsh. I think everybody remembers John Walsh, America's Most Wanted, John Walsh. And what came out of that relationship was two things that we're very familiar with. One is the Amber Alert, very important technology that we have today, and Operation Kids Safe. So Mark started that about 18 years ago, and it is just what you said. It is making sure that we're prepared should the worst happen, and doing ID cards for our kiddos out there. So we do that in agency and out at events.
So if they want to stop by your agency, which is located at 7749 East Florentine Road in Prescott Valley, now they want to go there, what's going to happen? What do the parents have to bring with them for this?
They don't have to bring anything. The neat thing about Operation Kids Safe is first, it's free, and second, it's private. So we don't even take the child's name or information. The parent will put that information on the identification card after they leave. We take the child's fingerprints and photograph, and then we provide the parent with the identification card. And on the back side of that card are some really awesome safety tips, and they're age-related. So it talks about safety tips for young children and safety tips for teens as well. So so they don't have to bring anything with them, just a child
Nice.
And we'll take care of the rest.
Wow, and it's free.
It is free, absolutely. It's a service to our community. So, and as far as events, we're going to be doing Comic Con at Prescott Valley Library on July 27th, and there's going to be about 1,500 children there.
Yes.
So we'll be doing a lot of little fingerprints that day. And so those types of events, if there's any type of larger event going on, we are happy to baggage up all of that equipment and bring it out and do those ID cards on site.
Oh, that's a wonderful service. I took part in it over 10 years ago with my daughter, and I remember the fingerprints and the photograph, and I still have that card because her little picture is so adorable.
Yes.
Now, what age do you recommend starting this process and re-upping, obviously, every few years?
As soon as we're able to put their little fingers on the digital fingerprint pad, we have had as young as 6 months in there. The 1, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, they love it. They just have a blast with it. We obviously love children in our agency, and so we make it fun for them when they come in. They're very special, and so they have a blast with it, and up to 18.
Up to 18, very good. Now I know there's a note that it's not just for children, that special needs adults are also great candidates for this program.
Absolutely, absolutely. You've of course heard Amber Alert, you've probably heard Silver Alert as well. So it can even be if you're concerned about an elderly parent that maybe has Alzheimer's, dementia, something like that, or special needs individuals in your life, a very, very good thing to have for them as well.
That's wonderful.
So, and we'd be happy to do that.
Okay. So if they walk up to your booth at Comic-Con, or they come into your office on East Florentine Road in Prescott Valley, how long is that process going to take? Oh,
it takes probably, outside of all the chatting and laughter and all of that, the process actually takes about 2 minutes. So
2 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. We need 10 fingerprints and a photograph.
And a photograph, and then they walk out with the document that they're going to fill in with all the private information, so they're not data mining.
No, Mark believes that only your school, probably doctor's office, should have, and parents should have your personal identification. So there's no record of the photographs or fingerprints or anything like that.
Right. Okay, that's great. Do the parents require ID when they come in?
That's a very good question. I have had non-guardians come in, and we do want the legal guardian or a parent of the child to have the have the permission to get the child's fingerprints and photograph.
Right. Certainly, that makes sense.
Yes.
It sounds like something that everyone should have. I know when I did it in a large group, probably associated with the school or something.
Yes.
And have held on it ever since. Now, kids change, their faces change. We know this every few weeks, it seems. How often do you recommend them coming in and re-upping the photograph?
Well, Operation Kids Safe says once a year, just once a year. We usually get school pictures once a year, even just a casual family photo, to just plop another one into that folder. So that is what they recommend. Now, you and I as moms, it does feel like every 3 months they change dramatically. So that's up to you.
Oh, well, that's good to know. And if someone says, wow, I'd really love Operation Kids Safe to come to my festival, to my organization, to my school, how do they go about doing that?
Well, a couple of ways. You can email me. That's Robin Binkley at allstate.com, and or call the agency. It's 928-772-0322.
That's excellent. How many people do you think you've served since you started doing this?
It's hard to tell because we had a grand opening, an open house, and we lost track the first day. So
there was that many.
Right. We were very happy to have a lot of the dignitaries in our area, mayors, council people, police and fire, people from the library, and all different walks of life in Prescott Valley. So we had a good turnout and a good support for the programs. So, and of course, we did all the adults as well, just for fun.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
Everybody likes having their fingerprints done. They go, ooh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that's too fun. And I know there seems to be an unlimited number of children in the Verde Valley. And
sure.
of course, every single one really does need this. I mean, like I said, heaven forbid anything ever happens to your child. If you can go, here, all the information you need, their picture, their photograph, everything there in a moment when you're going to be, you're not going to be thinking, you know, about all that information that's on the card, and you're not, you know, things are going to be going on in your head, and you're not going to be able to speak very clearly, most likely, to the people who need to hear from you the most. And this identification card with all that information provided by Operation Kid Safe is going to be a lifesaver. Could be at that moment.
Absolutely. As you've probably heard, the first few hours are essential. Certainly, first 24 hours are essential. And if it takes authorities time to try to gather this information, it's just too valuable.
Yeah. That'll save a whole lot of time. Robin, thank you for being part of Operation Kid Safe.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
That's a really wonderful thing that you're doing. All right, make sure you want to check them out. You can go to 7749 East Florentine Road to the Allstate office there. There's Operation Kid Safe Safety Center. You got to check that out. Or you can give them a call at 217-535-4100. We'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
Breakthrough Medicine's Dr. Shada Sina offers comprehensive hormone testing and customized hormone therapy with a focus on lifestyle medicine, weight loss, allergy drops, brain and digestive health, seasonal detox, and nutrition. Dr. Sina is a referral physician for Suzanne Summers, specializing in bioidentical hormones for men and women. Breakthrough Medicine is located in Cottonwood's Hot Yoga Plaza. Call for a 15-minute complimentary new patient consultation, 928-649-0269, or visit online at breakthrough-medicine.com.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain-relieving salves, full-spectrum oils, honeys, teas, cookies, and even CBD for pets. Ready to feel fantastic? Come on by CBD Sedona today.
Northern Arizona Thermal Imaging uses a state-of-the-art medical digital camera to take a picture and create a map of the body's infrared patterns, later interpreted by an MD specially trained in reading thermography. Northern Arizona Thermal Imaging is the leading medical imaging and proactive healthcare, detecting early danger signs years before other tools, finding early breast disease up to 8 years before mammography may detect it. Schedule a scan with Carol today. Northern Arizona Thermal Imaging. Say yes to thermography.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now going to talk about the return of Corn Fest. I know you're jumping up and down in your homes right now. Yay, Corn Fest is back. Michael Marshall is here from Camp Verde Parks and Rec to talk all about the return of Corn Fest. Congratulations, and we bow to you. Thank you so much for bringing us
Well,
back.
let's wait and make sure it goes well. I'm sure it will, but we're pretty excited about having it back there. So it's one of the big signature events for us, and it's the first one that we're taking back over as a town operation.
Right.
Camp Verde Promotions, a volunteer group, ran the last 3 events for several years, and they just decided that it's a little bit too much for them to do, so they're scaling back. They're still involved in a lot of small events. They had one June 22nd, a summer kickoff event, and they're still going to help us out on some of the other events too, but the town's taking the primary lead on this now.
Good.
So.
I know that the festivals were getting bigger and bigger and more complicated, and that was becoming a little harder to manage, but now that you've taken over, do you see any changes in how it's going to be run?
I think from a visitor point of view, we're hoping that we won't see a lot of big differences. You know, they've been enjoyable, they've been successful. We want to continue that way. What we're really hoping to do is to allow still to have volunteers and community groups involved in operating the things, but us to do a lot of the logistical and planning and organizing and support things that it's very difficult for a volunteer group to do that. We want to have it set up so that people could come as an organization, have a booth there, make some money, raise awareness to their organization or whatever, volunteer to help us out with setting up and tearing down, but not have to go to a whole bunch of meetings, not have to worry about, oh geez, has everybody checked on this, and are we all set for trash and power, and we can do all that kind of stuff. So
well, great, you're taking care of the business end,
right?
For sure, and you've got volunteers helping with the fun stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of volunteers that have set up for instance, our stage show this year. We've got a bunch of different things going on the stage there, some entertainment, some kids activities, and that's being all done by volunteers. We're supporting that, and hopefully there'll be a little something for everybody in there.
Oh my gosh, yes. So it's happening on Saturday, July 20th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's happening in the Camp Verde Gym there, and also on Holman Street as well. So tell us, it kicks off at 11 a.m. What should we expect?
Well, we're going to have corn. Roasted corn is the Hauser & Hauser roasted corn is the big highlight of the festival. We're also going to have other agricultural stuff. We'll have food vendors. We'll have different volunteer, community groups selling corn, for instance. So it looks like we're going to have Meals on Wheels. We'll be selling the the fresh corn as a fundraiser for them. Nice. We're going to also have other, local groups having vendors available. Very similar vendors that we've had in the past, probably some new ones. We always hope to mix that up a little bit. There'll be entertainment on the stage inside. A combination of, we got some different music people playing at different times. We've got some kids doing some plays. We've got some authors reading from some of their books, a couple other talks, short, tiny presentations, so you can come in, look at it for a few minutes, moves on to something else. The advantage of having it in the gym and on the street, you can be outside and enjoy the fresh air and get some food and look at the vendors. And if it gets a little hot, you can go inside, cool off in the gym, check out the vendors inside there, and then go back outside to get your next round of corn.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know we all overdo it every year on the most delicious sweet corn in the world. Yeah,
Hauser & Hauser corn is very good, and that was one of our big things. Was that one thing we've done with that is one of the challenges as volunteer groups before was the roasting and the preparing and the selling corn. It took a ton of volunteers to do that. So one of the things we've done this year is we've made arrangements with a vendor who is going to roast the corn and serve it. We're still using Hauser & Hauser corn. We're buying it from them and providing it through the vendor. But what we don't have to do is try and attract 100 volunteers who are standing in the hot sun roasting corn.
Right.
You can come and enjoy the event. We still need volunteers for gatekeepers and some setup stuff, but it's a relatively short period of time. You're not standing next to a corn roaster for hours roasting in the sun. So we're hoping it can be an enjoyable volunteer experience, as opposed to, if I don't do this, we can't make it happen, which is what it's been before.
Of course, yeah. When it's run by volunteers, without the volunteers, you can't make it happen.
Yeah, and we still need plenty of volunteers to do it. And we want volunteers too, because it gives people ownership in the event. It gives people pride that they're making this happen, that they've had an impact, that they can help out, because it is a community event. These are put on for the community. They're put on for community involvement. One of our principles was, again, giving local organizations, local businesses, local vendors an opportunity to showcase their products here, to showcase what their organization does or whatever. So we want that to still be in place.
Okay. So if someone is listening and says, well, I want to get involved, how do they go about doing that if they want to become a vendor or something?
If you want to be a vendor, visit campverde.com is the best website, either as a vendor or wanting to find out what's going on with the event. That gives us information about all of our events, not just this one here. Facebook is always great, Town of Camp Verde Parks and Recreation. We keep a lot of stuff on Facebook. And you can always call us at the office and say, hey, what's going on? 928-554-0828, or they can stop in the office. We can answer people's questions, but a lot of that information is available on the website or on Facebook. But it's nice to be able to talk to somebody and say, I can't find it, so what's the story? So.
Okay, excellent. And it's a one-day thing now. It used to be multiple days.
Yeah, well, it's been several different things over the years, and doing some of our looking at this for preparations. We found several years ago it was only 5 o'clock in the evening till 10 o'clock at night. It was in the evening, because July is really hot. Really hot, and we have monsoon problems. One of the things that's plagued Cornfest the last several years, it's really hot on the field out there in the afternoon, and then a monsoon storm goes through and rains everybody out, turns the field to mud, blows half of the tents away. So by going to a one-day event, number one, it didn't happen last year. This is our first time taking this over. We're still gearing up from the town side. We felt felt a one-day event is something we could handle, and by moving it to the gym and the outside of Holloman Street out front, we get the best of both worlds. If you get too hot outside, getting your corn or looking at the vendors, go inside to the air-conditioned gym, enjoy the vendors in there, sit down, listen to the band on the stage, or watch the kids play on the stage, whatever's going on. Go back outside and enjoy the weather. If we have bad weather go through, monsoon doesn't last very long. So if we can batten down the food truck and a couple other things and wait till the storm blows through in a half an hour, and then everybody's back outside enjoying that, event, and knowing that it's not a muddy field, because, that was not happening before sometimes with the monsoons.
That's true, Michael. That's amazing. So is there an entrance fee?
Nope, it's free.
It's a free family event.
One of the principles for all of our events are they're free events. Obviously, if you want corn, you're going to have to pay for the corn. Just like when we do the Pecan Wine Festival, if you want to do wine tasting, you have to pay for that. In conjunction with this, there is going to be a kickboxing competition on the field that evening, which will have a separate admission. That'll be the Golden Cobra is doing that. It's an IKF sponsored event. That's a Arizona versus Utah championship fight. So that's something else in the evening that people can go and enjoy. There will be an admission charge for that. One of the things we're looking at is trying to provide as many different things going on, because different people have different interests. Which is why, like on the stage, we've got kids activities, bands, several things.
That's great, Michael.
I'm trying.
Well, you're trying really hard, and it's showing, and it's amazing what you've done, and you've brought this wonderful community event back that had gone by the wayside simply because there just wasn't enough energy and volunteers behind it. And now you've got the logistics down. They don't have to worry about that.
Hopefully.
You're bringing it back. It's better than ever. I'm sure. I can't wait.
We're looking forward to it.
Saturday, July 20th from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Go to visitcampverde.com if you want more information. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Regrow, repair, replace. Regenerative medicine is the process of creating living, functional tissues to repair or replace tissue or organ function lost due to age, disease, damage, or congenital defects. Dr. Forrest Lanchbury and the team at Sedona Regenerative Medicine specialize in finding relief for patients suffering from chronic pain. Contact Sedona Regenerative Medicine to learn about anti-aging medicines that will help your body heal itself. 928-282-2520 or SedonaRegen.com.
Solid Rock Fitness is a one-on-one fitness studio specializing in fitness over 50. I train older adults of all fitness levels, from athletes and avid sports participants to folks with chronic pain to those recovering from surgeries. You and I will focus on strength training to improve overall muscle tone, core conditioning, balance, agility, flexibility, and nutrition. Mastery of these components of fitness will help you live your life to the fullest with confidence and competence.
Start your journey toward better health with Ageless Touches Massage Therapy. Licensed massage therapist Richard Stevens uses the latest and best equipment to relieve scar tissue, electronic smog, and tinnitus. Ageless Touches does everything they can to work your issues down to the bone. Improve your path to better health with Ageless Touches Massage.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now here with Meg Roederer. She is a communications specialist for Discover Flagstaff, here to talk about the Flagstaff Lunar Legacy Events. Most amazing thing ever to happen to Flagstaff.
That's for sure. One of humankind's greatest achievements. So the Flagstaff Lunar Legacy is celebrating our scientific connections to all the Apollo moon missions. And so the 50th anniversary is actually July 20th of the first man on the moon landing. And all the astronauts that walked on the moon trained in Flagstaff. So we've been celebrating and continue to celebrate.
Oh, it's worth celebrating. I mean, when you think about that, all the astronauts that walked on the moon were in Flagstaff. They trained in Flagstaff. And it's so cool. I mean, if you've ever been north of Flagstaff, that area near the craters, it looks like the moon, and it's hot. And, and it seems about right for the moon surface. So the moon's probably very cold, but in the suit, I'm sure you're quite toasty.
Well, absolutely. So it had the right geology so that they could test their equipment and they could train their astronauts and they could develop moon mapping. So like the cinder fields you see in northern Arizona, so Cinder Lakes Crater Testing Site 1 and Testing Site 2, Sunset Crater National Monument, you know, just amazing locations. And I will tell you how to get to those landmarks.
Oh, I know, you've got this wonderful thing, Flagstaff Lunar Landmarks, Trail Map, and Passport. This is cool. Ready for this? Well, it doesn't quite work like the pictures in the lab, but there it is. It is so cool. It is a map of all the lunar landmarks, and it's really well produced. Good on you for whoever put this together. Did a nice job.
Well, thank you. But what's helpful with that is it gives you a guide to say, where can I go see where these astronauts trained? Can I walk like an astronaut? So you sure can. All you got to do is follow that passport, and we have 6 locations identified on the back that you can actually get a stamp from and take it to our visitor center. If you get 3 of them, you get a little commemorative souvenir, which is so nice to remember the Flagstaff Lunar Legacy.
Wow, so many people must be so incredibly excited about this.
Oh, we all are. I mean, July 20th is the main event day, and of course, NASA and we'll be celebrating, places all over the world will be celebrating, as we are too. So if you want to get to some of these sites, it's the Grand Canyon National Park, it's Sunset Crater National Monument, the Cinder Lakes testing sites, Lowell Observatory, Meteor Crater, and United States Geological Survey, the Astrogeology Center, where actually the moon rover simulator is to this day.
I know, we've gone and seen it on the Verde Valley Experience. We went there and we spoke to the scientist. It was amazing. I love that part of the event, the special event, you can meet Apollo astronaut Charlie Duke in person. You can go meet him.
Yeah, that's actually coming up during the Festival of Science this year. And then at Lowell Observatory on July 20th, there'll be all kinds of events happening there where you can meet a panel of the actual scientists and researchers that were involved with the Apollo missions, including Eugene Shoemaker's widow, Carolyn Shoemaker, who was instrumental in the Apollo missions. And he is the only man on Earth to be buried on the moon is Gene Shoemaker from Flagstaff.
Wow.
Who knew?
Who'd have thunk? Flagstaff, our little Flagstaff.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Flagstaff, where else would they have trained? Who knows?
Well, they have trained other locations, but the most Flagstaff is the location where they had so many sites to utilize for equipment training and for moon mapping. In fact, they even exploded the cinder fields to recreate the lunar surface so that they would know what type of terrain they would be experiencing. And it's so really quite phenomenal.
That is. I love your poster too. It's amazing. Celebrating Flagstaff's scientific role in the Apollo moon missions. Very, very cool. Happening as part of the 50th anniversary of humankind's grandest achievements, walking on the moon. I know there's the most wonderful picture. The same one that you've used for your post there. It's really well put on, this event, and lots of things are happening. It had to have taken a lot of people to get this all together.
You're right. It's a collaboration of many people to make this Lunar Legacy events happen and to create awareness and tell people about it, because they didn't realize how close their connection is, to the first man on the moon landing. Who knew? It's like right up the hill from the Verde Valley area. And so while you're there, you can also eat some moon pies, enjoy some lunar lattes, or even some lunar beers and brews. So there's a lot to eat and drink and experience while you're there. First place I recommend going is actually the Flagstaff Visitor Center, where we have an astronaut selfie, so you can start your journey there and pick up a passport and other materials to help you have a really out of this world experience.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And if you want to take part in the celebration on July 20th, go to discoverflagstaff.com/Lunar Legacy. It's going to have information on all the events and everything that's happening and the times and the whens and the wheres. And since there's so much going on, really recommend going to the website to check that out. And it says it's free. Is everything free?
Well, admission to Lowell Observatory is a small cost to get into admission, but all the events downtown with the movies on the square are all free. Orpheum Theater is also showing a movie called Apollo 11. That's a narrative view that's also just been released this year, and I believe that's about $5. So a very affordable trip and way to experience our 50th anniversary.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If
Yes.
you're a space nut like I am, or, your kids are,
Yeah.
Kids of all ages. I mean, we're talking, this appeals to everyone, this type of event.
Yeah.
That should be a lot of work to put this on.
It's a lot of fun and a great thing to work on. And the Lunar Legacy will continue after the 50th anniversary. Will always be a spot for where the first man on the moon trained, and we'll continue to celebrate. So it's always a party up there.
Oh my gosh, I know Flagstaff's awesome.
Thank you.
There's always something to do. There's always so many things happening, and so many things are free. Summer you do concerts in the park, and then you do movies in the park, and you do all kinds of things. And so this is just another wonderful thing for families to do in Flagstaff that's little to no cost. And this one surrounding the history, the Apollo missions and Flagstaff's role and our role here in the Verde Valley. I know there's a lot of people down here that have worked up there and worked on those things with the observatory and with the sciences and things like that. It really feels like it was a community effort.
Absolutely. You couldn't be more right. Absolutely a community effort. So it's also being celebrated on a statewide level too.
All right.
So Arizona Diamondbacks, if you're a baseball fan, Space Day is July 20th, so you can certainly go down there, and we'll have one of the first pitch will be tossed out by the USGS director who works with astronauts.
Oh, that's
and
too
we
cool.
train astronauts then, and we still train them today. Believe it or not, USGS has an on-staff astronaut trainer for today's astronauts. So it's an active research facility.
Well, that is amazing. Oh
Fun.
my gosh, so much is happening. I love this book, Northern Arizona Space Training, Images of, this is the most amazing thing. And of course, a foreword by Carolyn Shoemaker. This is beautiful. I love that there's a book involved. All the pictures, there it is, they're exploding, the crater like you mentioned. So where can I pick up one of these books?
At Flagstaff Visitor Center and Lowell Observatory.
Great.
So it's a great resource material. So the brochures and everything, if you don't get a chance to go by the Visitor Center, you can certainly download them on the website you mentioned.
Oh, great. Super. Get yourself to discoverflagstaff.com. Great website. Lots of things going on in Flagstaff always. But if you want to be part of the 50th anniversary of the Walk on the Moon, the first one, the most amazing thing ever to happen, you want to get involved with that, discoverflagstaff.com. Meg, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
I love your excitement.
I'm thrilled about it because I've been in Arizona like over half of my life, and I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't know all the astronauts that walked on the moon trained in Flagstaff. So it's really a fun thing to tell people about and to experience, especially with the 50th anniversary. So thanks for having me on.
Well, absolutely. Thanks for coming. Meg Roeder, communications specialist with Discover Flagstaff. Go to discoverflagstaff.com. We'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Miss Lee, this is Agent Williams from the tax office. Our records show an unpaid balance on your account. If you don't pay by end of day, you'll be facing jail time. Well, the fastest way to fix this is with a prepaid debit card. Can you go get one now? Yes, and we want to clear this up. If you just buy that prepaid card, put $400 on it, then call me back and read the numbers to me.
The moment they ask for a prepaid card is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamawareness.org.
Schools have a big problem. Every year, millions of kids come to class with nothing. So teachers end up spending thousands of dollars of their own money just to make sure kids have what they need to learn. I'm the school supply fairy. My assistant and I do what we can. But we could really use your help.
welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here in beautiful Sedona by the creek because it's summertime, and I don't know about you, but I spend quite a bit of my summer in the creek. We're standing here with firefighter Cooper Carr, who is here to tell us about a few things you need to know because the creek is not always as docile as it looks. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, even this little stream right here during floods and monsoons will look dramatically different.
Yes,
during
absolutely.
those times.
And it looks like a wonderful place to go swimming, but what do you need to look for when you pick a swimming hole?
Okay. Yeah, some things we like to look for are, first off, the most important thing would be calm water. I think that a lot of people underestimate moving water and the force it has. And so if it has a lot of wave trains and stuff like that, just avoid it and approach it cautiously because people underestimate it, and we're not very good at overpowering the water at all.
Oh, that's true. And you think about it, you jump in and all of a sudden you're moving and everything's moving and your floaties are moving and your kids are moving and keeping track of everything.
That's
because
correct.
it's a moving body of water. It's alive. So you got to keep your eyes open and your senses about you at all times, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, so you really got to approach it cautiously. I know that for us, even on the fire department, and we train in swimming, moving water and stuff like that, we still have a rule of if it's an unfamiliar area and the water is moving within 10 feet of the water's edge, we have a flotation device on. So that's a good rule to adhere to if you're not familiar with the area.
Right. Now, what do you see, being that you're on the Swiftwater team, is that correct?
Correct.
So you're seeing these kind of calls year round, but right now, what are you running into with it being summer? What are the common things people don't think about and suddenly, oops, they're in trouble now?
Oh yeah, obviously, so the water temperature is a big one. So for their children who are used to swimming in maybe a heated pool or water that's more tolerable, if the child just was to jump in because it's hot out, all of a sudden that initial shock of the temperature change in their body kind of causes them to panic sometimes, and they don't necessarily remember how to swim if they're newer to it, as well as bad footing and slippery rocks and stuff like that. And then a lot of people, just kind of how we mentioned earlier, aren't used to moving water.
Right.
So they just don't realize that you're gone, and all of a sudden you're downstream.
Right, and then you're tired because you've been swimming, and then, so what should you do if you run into trouble while swimming in the creek? What's one of the first things you should do?
The first thing to do is try to remember to keep your feet up. You never want to put your feet down in fast-moving water because that can lead to what we call a foot entrapment. And that is a very, it causes a lot of issues, a lot of injuries or worse in moving water, because you see the rocks down here, and if your foot is to get caught in one, and what would happen is the water forces you down and you just don't have the strength to overpower it and get up. So the first thing to do is keep your head and try to just float on your back and swim without overexerting yourself to a safe, calm spot.
Sure.
So that's something to be aware of.
And sometimes that spot could be downstream. You don't think, oh, I have to go directly sideways. Go a little bit with the flow and help yourself out a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Swimming upstream and moving water is it's pretty futile. It's probably not a good idea.
Right.
More than likely, downstream will be your safety area. So another good thing to look for when choosing a swimming area, especially with children, is calm water and no hazards downstream, such as fast-moving water right directly downstream, or what we call strainers, which are trees, brush, vegetation, or debris that falls across the water. Because if you were to go into that, you may not have the ability to overpower the current and get yourself up and out. Sometimes it can drag you down.
Right.
So when you pick those spots, especially with children, downstream you want to be a good safe zone if possible.
Absolutely. That's good to think about, looking downstream. And now, should something go awry, just saying, they should call you right away. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Call us immediately because we're pretty familiar with the area. However, finding out exactly where you are is a challenge. It just is, because people can't describe exactly where they are all the time.
Sure.
Also, another issue that we run into is access to both sides of the river. It takes us sometimes quite a while to go down or upstream and find a crossing to where we can get people to both sides.
Right.
Because if the victim, child, adult, whatever, is on kind of the far side, it's an advantage for us to be on that same side if possible. And it just takes time to get there. So calling us early is a really, really good idea.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, don't wait. If something goes awry, call. You know, these guys are on your side. Thank you for that. Appreciate
absolutely.
that. Now, something that we run into, monsoons, sudden flash floods. that's also an issue if you're out there swimming, or perhaps if you're in your vehicle. And we have so many different crossings as you go through Sedona. What about if you're going to drive across water? What should you think about?
Okay, yeah, so that is probably our most common cause for people in distress in the water. And what usually happens is people drive these low water crossings and they're really familiar with them, and they've seen it every day, day in, day out, and then it'll look a little different, and then they don't want the inconvenience to try to go around a different spot, and for whatever reason they think they got it and they don't. It really does not take a lot of force of moving the water to push your car downstream, to float your wheels, and next thing you know, even a large full-size truck is gone.
It's absolutely nothing. It's about 3 inches, is that correct?
Yeah, 3 inches can have a huge difference on how much surface area is pushing your vehicle, and you're no longer in control.
Right, and then you're off the road, and then you really need to call the fire department.
Yes.
Better yet, just don't do it.
Yeah,
you know, don't do it. Sure. Always keep an eye on the weather, of course, and think about, just because it's gorgeous here, someplace else it could be raining.
Yeah.
You know, upstream, about 100 miles even, it could be raining, and suddenly you're in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I've had that happen where it's been nice and calm here, but we'll get big water from an event way up north that just floods the watershed, and it's coming our way.
Absolutely.
So it's a good point. Absolutely. The best way to avoid this is prevention, preventative, because if you're in the water and you're in trouble, it's a challenging rescue, and it's really hard for bystanders to have a positive outcome. So the best thing we teach is prevention for everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Avoid it.
Keep aware of your surroundings at all time and of your children. Come prepared, know before you go, before you jump in, all that good stuff. And of course, the fire department is there to help you should you need them. Firefighter, thank you so much, Cooper Carr. Appreciate you being here and helping us out with this and the work that you do.
No, you're very welcome. Happy to.
Have a safe summer.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Come on, sweetie. Let's blow out the candle. What are you going to wish for? Happy 12th birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Vaccines can help protect you and your loved ones against certain diseases. Vaccination is important, not only for babies and young children, but throughout your entire lifetime. To learn more about vaccines for all stages of life, talk to your healthcare provider or visit lifetimeofvaccines.com, a public service of Healthy Women and Merck.
Girl, you've been on my mind. I'll give you all the reasons why. Well, it's the way you move when you dance under the moon. It's that look in your eyes saying everything will be alright. Baby, when the rain rain is pouring down, you bring the sun out of the clouds, and you rain it down on me. I know that you are free, but ever since the day you left, that feeling's hard to find. I just wanted you to know that you've been on my mind. Yeah, you've been on my mind. Girl, I miss the way you smile. I haven't felt your kiss in a while. Well, it's the way you move when I play your favorite tune. It's that look in your eyes that light up the night. And baby, when the rain is pouring down, you bring the sun out of the clouds, and you rain it down on me. I know that you are free, but ever since the day you left, that feeling's hard to find. I just wanted you to know that you've been on my mind. Yeah, well, you've been on my mind. And oh, I know this road ain't easy. I wanted you to know that I still care. And girl, whenever you feel ready, we'll take it steady. And baby, when the rain is pouring down, you bring the sun out of the clouds, and you rain it down on me. I know that you are free, but ever since the day you left, that feeling's hard to find. I just wanted you to know that you've been on my mind. Yeah, well, you've been on my mind. Yeah, well, you've been on my mind.
Very nice, very nice. Dan Vega, everyone. So glad to have you back in the studio, Dan.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's wonderful. It's been a couple of years, and a lot has happened. You have a new album out, Capture Magic's wonderful. It's like 2 months old now.
Yeah.
It's a fresh one.
It's fresh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
And you said that it took you about a year to put this together, which is warp speed in musician world. Warp speed, a year. That's incredible that you're so prolific and so able to, and you produced it yourself.
Yes.
And you, of course, wrote everything yourself. That's incredible.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What have you been doing with yourself besides this? Nothing, because you've been working on this. That's great. And you have standing gigs now.
I do,
all over town. That's amazing. You play at the Arabella.
Arabella, yeah. Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, 6:30 to 9:30. I'll be at Red's restaurant when they're done renovating soon, every Thursday. And then every Saturday at Bella Vita.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a nice little spread out. So on 179, we have Arabella. That's wonderful. And then Red's is right there in the middle of 89A in West Sedona. And then Bella Vita is just slightly down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful views. I mean, you play in the most beautiful place in the world. So,
I do. Yes. Very blessed.
And you find Sedona, a lot of your inspiration comes from that.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure. How can you not?
Right.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. And I love that your album has 15 songs on it.
Thanks.
15 songs. Who writes 15 songs and squishes them in? That's amazing. In a year.
In a year, yeah.
Wow.
It was going to be 4, and then I think 12, and 13, and ended up being 15 originals. So.
That's incredible. 15 original songs. Of course, that was one of them.
That was one.
What was that one called?
It's called On My Mind.
Nice. That's wonderful. I really like your style, Dan. It's so soothing and uplifting.
Thank you.
It's very, very lovely to listen to. You know, would you say that most of the songs kind of fall into that as far as soothing and uplifting, or did you get into it?
It's very
sometimes?
eclectic. You know, a lot of the songs are tribute songs to when I played in blues bands, and
nice.
You know, there's pop songs. There's a reggae song on there. There's a blues song, 12-bar blues song as well. So
nice.
Yeah, singer-songwriter, a little bit of everything on there.
Wow. Now, how much of a change is this album from your last?
It's similar but different. You know, it's a little more mature and lush, I would say.
Yeah. Lush is a very good word to describe your music.
Thank you.
It really is. Oh my gosh. And so now that this is out, congratulations.
Yeah.
Where do you go next?
I have to force myself to take time off and rest and kind of regain that creative spark.
Sure.
Probably in the new year.
Okay.
I'll be ready to go for a new one.
Okay, so what are you doing to rest and renew that spark?
Just sleeping.
It's a good one.
In between gigs. I'm writing a few singles here and there just to stay busy and just resting.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you.
I mean, you put out a 15-song album in a year.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You didn't sleep for a year.
Yeah, I don't think I slept at all. So I gotta catch up.
How difficult is it to do everything yourself? You're writing it, you're producing it, you've got your own studio, and you're putting it together.
It was very difficult because a lot of the times I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn on the fly, and you know, it's kind of like going to school for a lot of it. And it was intense at times and super rewarding though.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I bet. To look at this and go, I did this. I did all of this. Yeah. It's beautiful. The graphic on the front is gorgeous, this drawing. Did you do that too?
I did not, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that prolific, but my friend Breeze, shout out to my friend Breeze if she's watching.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a great artist, local artist, and she did that for me.
It's beautiful artwork. Yes. I just love it. If we want to pick up your album, Capture Magic, how do we do that?
You can purchase it on iTunes. You can also stream it on all the major streaming platforms. It's available, Spotify, Tidal. Also at my shows, if you want a physical copy, come see me in Sedona.
That's
great. You can buy one. Yeah.
Great. If we go to danvegamusic.com, can we find your schedule?
Yeah, I have my full tour on there.
So. Nice. Nice. So it seems like every week there's multiple options to find you somewhere.
Yeah. I'm even down in Phoenix and Prescott at some of the churches down there, the New Age churches. So
nice.
If you're not in Sedona, come see me at a church in Phoenix or Prescott.
In Phoenix and Prescott. There you go. danvegamusic.com. You can find out when he's going to be in Phoenix and Prescott. If you don't want to drive down and over, you don't have to. But of course, if you're in the Verde Valley, you can check out him at Bella Vita. You can check him out at Red's when that's done being renovated.
Yes.
And then, of course, the Arabella Hotel there,
yeah.
which is gorgeous in the courtyard and outside.
It is.
So that's awesome. The next song that you're going to play for us, what's that called?
It's called Sedona Sunset.
Nice.
Yeah,
well, we won't have to think too hard about where you got your inspiration on that one.
That's true.
It's wonderful to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Congratulations on your new album and your 3 standing gigs. That's brilliant.
Thanks,
You're successful.
I am.
That's amazing.
It feels good.
Great for you.
Thank
really
you.
happy for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Check out danvegamusic.com if you want to know more about the schedule, where he's going, if you can find yourself one of these Capture Magic albums. These are amazing. Check it out. Of course, check us out at verdevalleytv.com. On our YouTube channel, you can check us out on Facebook. Love to see you there, and I'll see you again next time.
Sitting on the edge of a red rock mountainside, looking out on another southwest summer night, and the only thing I need is you here by my side. I can feel you in my heart like we've never, ever been apart. Baby, I gotta know, will you run away again and leave me blind? Well, I know that you remember that time when our eyes first met. I wish you were here, watching another Sedona sunset. Close your eyes for a moment. pretend you're sitting here with me. I know that I will wait for you, no matter what you're going through, and I unconditionally love you. But baby, I gotta know, will you run away again and leave me blind? Well, I know that you remember that time when our eyes first met. I wish you were here, watching another Sedona sunset. Well, I know I'll see you soon, and we will rendezvous under the moon. Feel me in your heart, we will never be apart, and I'll wait for you. Oh, I'll wait with open arms, but baby, I gotta know, will you run away again and leave me blind? Well, I know you remember that time when our eyes first met. I wish you were here, watching another Sedona sunset. Oh, another Sedona sunset. Oh, another Sedona sunset.